Okay, let's go ahead and factor these guys down to their prime numbers. I've shown you just kind of going horizontally how you could do this. I'm actually going to do this as a factor tree now. And hopefully that will also give another way to approach a problem. Hopefully it will make sense for some folks that maybe weren't as comfortable with the horizontal version of this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say for 18, I know that there's a 2 hiding in there because I have an 8 as a final number. So I've got my 2, and then I'm going to pull that apart out of that 18, and it's going to be a 9. Well, 9 is composite, so I can take this one step further. I'm going to just bring that 2 down. It's still part of the process of being multiplied, right? And then my 9 is going to be a 3 and a 3. All right, so this is now the prime factorization for 18. You could also write this as 18 is going to equal 2 times 3 squared. Now, that's because we have 2 of those, right? That's raising that base. That base is being multiplied by itself 2 times. All right, so we could write it like that. We could also go ahead and do 150. I'm going to kind of do some what I think are easy numbers. I'm going to start with a 15, and I'm going to start with a 10. All right, so that's kind of breaks that down a little bit. I'm going to have a 3 and a 5 here for my 15. And then this is going to break down to 2 and 5. So if I were to go ahead and rewrite this kind of in this summation form, or this kind of cleaned up form, I'm going to start with the 2, right? And I'm going to have a 3. And then I'm going to have 5 squared because I have 2 5s that are multiplying each other. So I've got 5 squared. So it doesn't take very long to factor something down to a very small piece of information. Very, very quickly we can reduce that down to prime numbers and see what it's made up of. And the value in that is going to be in finding greatest common denominator and least common multiple. All right, so let's take a look at a least common multiple. If I have, let's go 8 and 30. All right, we're going to see what we can get here out of this. All right, so I'm going to have 8. I know that's 2 times 2 times 2. I'm going to kind of take a little shortcut on that. I could have taken it in 2 and 4 and then broken it down further, but I'm going to kind of shortcut on that. And I'm going to go with 3 and 10. So 3 and 2 and 5. So what have I got here? I've got it for my 8. I've got 2, 2, and 2. For my 30, and I'm going to write this down a little differently than maybe you would just kind of at the beginning, but there's some merit in why I'm doing it this way. So I'm going to go 2, and then I'm going to say times, and I'm going to move out past this 2 here, this last 2 when it comes to the 8, and I'm going to put down my 3 there, and then I'm going to put down my 5, right? I don't have any other numbers past these 2s, and I don't have anything else to line up with. So right now, I have a common factor of 2 in both of those. All right. So one of my factors is going to be a 2. I don't have any 2 times 2 here, or 4, right? So I'm going to multiply that by 4. And then I'm going to multiply this whole thing by 3 and 5. All right. And by doing that, I now know what my common denominator, if this was in a fraction, I would have a common denominator for this value. Well, what does that help me with? Well, let's take a look. This is going to give me 120 is my common denominator if these two were both denominators. So for 8, right, I've got my 2 times 2 times 2, and now I need to add some factors of 3 and 5 because I don't have those here, right? I'm missing those, so I need those in order to get to that 120. All right, now for my 30, again, let me go back and turn this to black. So 30 is my common factor there of 2, and then I have the 3 and the 5. But I don't have these missing 2's, right? I don't have these 2's, right? So I'm going to say 2 times 2, or 4, whichever you prefer. And then that's going to get me to my 120 that I need. All right. Let's do one more quick one. I'm going to go with 9 and 6. And we'll see how that works out. So my 9 factors to 3 and 3. And my 6 factors to 2 and 3. Well, what do I have in common? I have my 3's here in common. So what I need is I need something that's going to be 3 times 3 times 2, because that's the piece I'm missing up here, right? I'm missing this 2 here. And in this case, I'm missing a 3. And in order to get that, right, these are the numbers I would have to multiply by so that I can get to 18. That's going to be my least common multiple of these two. So those will both get me to 18.